is SportsCenter.
Hello everybody, this is Coach Lawrence and Coach Lyle. We're here broadcasting the League Sportscast.
Yeah, it's been some kind of week one going into week two. There's been two blockbuster three-team trades. First, between Alex Bent equals Hot, Beefiest Mermaid, and Lil Wayne Girl 1994. Alex Bent equals Hot received Frank Gore, Ahmad Bradshaw, Larry Fitzgerald, and AJ Green. Beefiest Mermaid received Calvin Johnson, Des Bryant, and Willis McGahee. And finally, Lil Wayne Girl 1994 received Greg Jennings, Michael Turner, and Andre Johnson.
In other news, there was another three-way blockbuster trade. We had one trade between Julia Lover, Honky Tonk for Donkey Gronk, and Rick's Little Footballers. Julia Lover came out with McCoy and Cruz. Honky Tonk came out with Julio Jones. And Rick's Little Footballers came out with three players, and Chris Johnson, Pierre Garcon, and Stephen Ridley.
Yeah, after all those trades, I have to say that it's definitely going to be a whole new landscape in the league. Now on to our broadcast colleague, outside a local fantasy football house, the Lyle household, our partner, Mark Andolina.
Thank you, Ethan and Sam. As you can see, I'm outside the Lyle's household. This was one of the few hosts that we had last year. With the new additions of this year's host, we will have many new houses to go to. Mine including, we may also go to Patrick's. So hopefully this year there's a more variety on the areas we go, and that's all. And back to you guys.
Thank you, Mark. No one really cares at all. Okay, back to our predictions on week two. First, we're going to start off with Julia Lover and Alex Bent equals Hot. Who do you got winning that game?
Alright, as the coach of Julia Lover, I don't want to come out here and just say I'm going to win every game, but I seriously do think I can win this game. I just picked up Sean McCoy, Victor Cruz, and there is no weak point in my lineup. I'm strong top to bottom of this.
Alright, and no disrespect to either team, I'm going to have to go with Kyle over Sam because, I mean, these are two teams who really benefited the most from their trades, and I think that it's really just going to be a battle of, by the end of the day, it's just who has the most points, and I just think Kyle's going to come out on top of that, alright? And on to the next game,
Alright,
Sully versus Dole, who do you got?
Game 2, we got Rick's Little Footballers versus Dole, and I think Sully's going to win this game. I mean, Sully picked a great team this year. He's going to get a lot of points. He just picked up Chris Johnson. He got Pierre Garcon, starting Pierre Garcon and RG3. He's going to get double the points. And he picked up Stephen Ridley. Great week last week. I think that he's going to get a lot of points this week. And I just don't think Dole can match it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with him on that one. I just honestly think that Rick's Little Footballers definitely has the stronger team. Andolina, he's a great coach, great guy, but by the end of the day, it's going to be Sullivan all the way. Yeah.
All right. So our
next
third
one
matchup
is between myself and Mr. Brennan Murphy.
When we were going over the script, I said that I thought that Brennan was going to win this game, but looking at both of the teams, I seriously think that Ethan can win this game. Ethan has the better running backs. He's got the better wide receivers, better tight end. And all Brennan has is Tom Brady over Eli Manning. And that is not going to be enough to help Brennan in this game. I think that Ethan's going to pull it off.
I'm not going to come out here and say I'm going to lose. Let's be honest, nobody would. I just think that, like he said, my running game has a lot more strength to it. Obviously, his quarterback is much better. No question about it. However, I mean, as one of his receivers, I just think that I'll be canceling out some of his points and allowing my bigger scores to just get more points and surpass him this week. So
I agree. Tom Brady's going to throw a lot of touchdowns for Rob Gronkowski this year, and I think that Ethan's going to get the same amount of points off Tom Brady for Gronkowski.
Yep, and on to our final game. It'll be Honky Tonk for Donkey Gronk versus Patrick the Equestrian.
So in this game, I chose the upset. I chose Pat over Bresh. A big reason I did this is because Aaron Rodgers had 13 points week 2. He played Wednesday versus the Bears, and he just didn't do anything. I mean, he's lucky that the Packers defense stepped up, but Rodgers just did not have a great game. He had 13 points. Rodgers is supposed to come out every week and get 25 to 30 points, and he just didn't do that. I mean, I think if you take Aaron Rodgers out of the game, I think that Pat has the better team than Bubba has.
Now I agree that with Rodgers having a poor game, Pat definitely has the upper hand here. But I still think overall Kevin Rashani will have the win by the end of the week because Patrick's the new guy to the league. I think fresh in this league, just he's a defending champion and defending champions. He has ways to win by more than just a quarterback. So I think by the end of the week he'll have the W.
All right, now moving on to the players of the week. We're going to start with Ethan.
I believe player of the week, not going to go out there and brag about my team at all, but I honestly think that Arian Foster will be the player of the week. Playing a Jaguars defense who, honestly, on the spot, I couldn't name a single person on their defense. I mean, really, there's no question about it that he's going to dominate that team this week, and it's going to be touchdown after touchdown all day long.
All right, I'm not saying that this team or this player is going to have the most points this week, but I am saying that it's not very often the defense comes out and gets 26 points. I think the player of the week is the Packers defense. 4 interceptions and 7 sacks. It's unbeatable. It's a great game.
All right, now on the bust of the week, where we think the player who has the most hype but is going to do the worst by the end. I think Marshawn Lynch. No disrespect to the coach of Alex Bennett equals hot, but Marshawn Lynch, he's just, I'm pretty sure he's questionable for the week. I don't think he's much of an effect on that team. I have to say, that's a dominant team, and I think he's the weakest link on that team.
I think that it was C.J. Spiller. Fred Jackson got injured, so C.J. Spiller came in. He had a great week, 24 points, and fantasy owners all over the world are probably starting him this week, expecting him to put up the same number. That's not going to happen. I'm projecting 6 points this week from C.J. Spiller. I just don't think he can go.
All right. Before we go, just one more thing. We now have on the phone the coach of Alex Bennett equals hot, Coach K. He is here to inform us on the current inside information of Marshawn Lynch and Antonio Gates due to the fact that they are both injured this week, and we're going to get them. Let's go.
Okay, hey guys, thanks for calling. Privileged to be on air. One thing I want to discuss is the Marshawn Lynch injury. About his abdominal, I think, or quad, something like that. He will probably play as normal. Probably might be limited to snaps, but he's more healthy than he was last week. And after my tight end Antonio Gates, his ribs, he's probably going to get the start tomorrow. He'll probably before game time decision right before it. I've heard that he's more healthy than his teammate Ryan Matthews, who will be starting tomorrow. So I can't see Antonio Gates not playing tomorrow. Thank you guys.
So we have for our week 1 going into week 2 update, from my basement, we are at it.
Oh, yeah, the airplane is over there.
All right, let's go get haircuts.
Isle household, which was one of the many houses we went to last year for the Fantasy Football League. But now this new season brings many new...
Oh my god!
Hope.